We're back with an Oscar winner in the spotlight. Mira Sorvino stars in a new TV show. It's called Condor. She's also one of 97 women who've come forward publicly to accuse Harvey Weinstein of sexual misconduct. We're going to talk to Mira in a moment. This is her first interview since Weinstein was arrested and pled not guilty to sex crime charges. But first, her story. Hollywood veteran Mira Sorvino was a screen staple in the 90s, starring in movies like Quiz Show, Romy and Michelle's High School Reunion, and Woody Allen's Mighty Aphrodite.
Lenny, I need your help.
No, I'm not a violent person.
She won an Academy Award for that role in 1996. But while she was promoting that Miramax film, Sorvino says Harvey Weinstein sexually harassed her, trying to pressure her into a physical relationship during a hotel room encounter. It happened again weeks later at her apartment, Sorvino first told The New Yorker. But both times she managed to avoid his aggressive advances. After that, she says her film roles dried up because she'd been blacklisted by Harvey Weinstein and iced out of Hollywood, including a potential role in the record-breaking trilogy Lord of the Rings. In December, the film's director, Peter Jackson, confirmed that Weinstein disparaged the actress, his company saying she was a nightmare to work with and to avoid her at all costs. In a statement provided to NBC News, a spokesperson for Weinstein said the producer has nothing but the utmost respect for Peter Jackson, adding that Miramax had no input into the casting whatsoever. Mira Sorvino says she now feels vindicated after sharing her story publicly, telling Time magazine, "We must, can, and will work together to change that culture right now. I will fight so that my daughters and sons will not have to endure what I and every other generation that has come before have had to." Mira Sorvino, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you here, and I'm grateful for your time.
Thank you.
The good news is you have a lot of great projects to talk about. You have a new TV show. I know you're shooting a movie right now.
Yes.
You, in fact, took a day off to be here and talk to us today.
I'm shooting Stuber for Fox, 20th Century Fox, with Kumail Nanjiani and Dave Bautista, and it's hilarious and fun and wonderful. And I'm here today to talk about Condor, which is going to be on the Audience Network premiering tonight. So, yeah, things are going really, really well.
There's lots to talk about, and I want to talk more about Condor in a moment because I think people are going to be excited about what you're working on. But, you know, not your fault, but you found yourself the subject of advances by Harvey Weinstein, the subject of retaliation by Harvey Weinstein, according to Peter Jackson, and your own experience. And I just wonder how you feel in this moment. I mean, he just was indicted by a grand jury. He's been walked into a police station, perp walked, mugshot, facing criminal charges. How does that feel after everything you've been through?
It feels like a really good first step. You know, it's him finally facing real criminal consequences for his criminal behavior. And so for that, I feel gratified. But honestly, last weekend was a very emotional one. And I cried many times because just seeing him brings up a lot of bad feelings. And he's raped many people that I love. So it's not really a happy occasion. I think maybe there will be some celebration when he gets convicted and goes to jail. That's when the process will be complete and we will see justice really being served. But until then, this is a great first step.
There are an array of allegations against him. I think that last count, 95, 96, 97 women who've made varying levels of claims against him. And this was a secret that you held for a long time. You know, a lot of courage to speak out.
The funny thing is, at the time it happened, I told everyone I knew. And a lot of people will tell you that. All these people wrote to me online. I remember you telling me about that. Quentin Tarantino corroborated that I told him about it right away that September. He said it in the New York Times article. So I told everyone I knew. No one said, hey, this is sexual harassment. You should go to the authorities. You have a case. You should go to the police. Maybe it's assault. No one said anything like that. Everyone was just kind of comforting about it. And I didn't really understand the law, and I didn't think I was important enough to make a big deal over, so I just kind of tried to put it to the side and keep working and go on about my life. And, you know, I think a lot of people felt that way, and none of us compared notes. I only knew of one other person.
Were you shocked when you saw how many people?
I could not believe it. I could not believe how many people. And if we had known about each other then, there would have been, oh, boy. That's crazy. I'm sorry.
It's overwhelming when you see it.
I think we would have found strength in numbers and we would have done something a lot sooner. But I only knew of one other person, Sophie Dix, who told me her story a little while after mine occurred. But I did try and do something about it at the time. I even spoke to somebody at Miramax about it, and nothing happened. So it kind of went away, and I tried to go on with my life.
You did try to go on with your life, and you were a rising star. I told you before we sat on, I was a huge, huge fan of yours. I loved Mighty Aphrodite. You won the Oscar. And then to you, it felt like your career kind of stalled. Peter Jackson, who, of course, was the influential director of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, came out and said it, that he had heard from Miramax, oh, don't work with Mira Sorvino. It's so rare to actually have living proof from someone of something that you suspected for so long. What did you think when you read that, and how do you feel now?
I didn't even know what I suspected. I just knew that my career had kind of slumped, and I thought, well, maybe it's my fault. Maybe I've had too many children. I've been pregnant too many times. And, sometimes you have bad luck. And I was like, okay, maybe it wasn't meant to be that my career was going to continue at the same level that it had been. But that morning, to wake up and see Peter Jackson's tweet that he had blacklisted myself and Ashley Judd based on Harvey's, telling him not to work with us. And then Terry Zwigoff the next day came out and said the same thing about Bad Santa. It was like a thunderbolt. It was kind of crazy. I was like, oh. So it was really this malevolent hand that changed the course of my life and my professional horizons. And look, I still have worked all these years, and I've done great projects. Some of them have been lower profile, but I'm proud of all of them. I have the most amazing family in the world. I have 4 most beautiful, wonderful children and the most incredible husband who's starting his own series, by the way, this week for a major cable network that I can't talk about yet because it's not publicized, but he's a lead on this new show. So everything is going great for us now, and we probably wouldn't have met if I'd done Lord of the Rings, and I wouldn't have had my 4 beautiful children. So at the end of the day, I am fine with everything, but to know that this was done to me rather than it just being fate was kind of world rocking at the time. But right now I'm really excited to be a part of this movement of Me Too and Time's Up, and I'm working on promoting legislation in California, 4 bills that are among the strongest anti-sexual harassment legislation in the nation. There's a hashtag Take the Lead if you want to find out more about them. They're about statute of limitation, about training workers in every organization that works in the state of California, about defining who can be a sexual harasser, not just your immediate boss, but all these other people that you have business relationships. In my business, that would be like a director, a producer, a casting director, an investor, because a lot of times investors go with this quid pro quo thing with female and male, prospects and say, listen, I'll give you money for your project or your movie or your business if you play ball with me, if you have a sexual relationship with me. And that is just horrendous. But that's been the way it has been in this field, in every field, and in power forever. Men have raped and abused and harassed people weaker than them, people in positions subordinate to them. And I'm not just talking women, I'm talking men, I'm talking children, I'm talking trans people, non-binary people, LGBTQ people, forever. Rape has been with us forever. And if we're at the cusp of this moment where all of this action, all of this legislation, but also this culture changing, where we're working with children, we're working with high school students, we're working with men to change the idea of what being a strong man is and how to not do this to people, and for women and boys and girls to know their rights, then all of this will have been worth it in some crazy way. If culture is going to change and less people will be sexually assaulted because of this movement and this outcry among millions across the world, then it was all worth it.
Well, Mira, you have said it so eloquently, and you are a voice in this movement now. And I know it's not easy. I appreciate you talking about it. And we're kind of out of time, but I do want to talk about your project.
Yes,
because
Condor. It's
Condor
opening
premieres tonight. So
on Audience Network.
Just tell us what it's about.
It's based on 3 Days of the Condor, the Redford movie from the 70s, the iconic Sidney Pollack movie. But it's really a new iteration of it, and it's very topical. It's all about how people, individuals in the intelligence agencies, are really manipulating world events at like an unbelievable, deadly scale. And this one man, Joe Turner, played by Max Irons, who's Jeremy Irons' son, actually, an amazing young actor, is the man on the run being hunted. I and a bunch of other people think that he's guilty of this group murder of 11 of his coworkers. And I am going toe-to-toe with William Hurt, my ex-lover and boss, former boss.
Sounds good.
It's really a great, gripping, incredible thriller, nail-biter, cliffhanger. No one is safe. So every episode, you'll lose a character that you love. So everybody's on the chopping block, so you never know what's going to happen. But it's really, really pertinent to today's world, and all the cast is uniformly incredible.
Sold.
Yes, Brendan Fraser is amazing.
I was going to say, you
Bob
have
Balaban, so
yeah,
many
huge,
people,
an
Christina
incredible
Moses.
cast.
Yeah, really amazing.
And you at the top of that list. Mira Sorvino, thank you for being here. Thanks for your candor.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking about all of it.
Thank
Appreciate
you so
it.
much. Thank you.
And by the way, Condor premieres tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern Time and Pacific. It's on the Audience Network. We'll head over to Al and get a check of the weather.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.